Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री राधा माधव की जय, जगन्नाथ बलदेव माई की जय, नरसिंह भगवान की जय, पंच तत्व की जय, षड गोस्वामी की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरुदेव की जय। टैगोर हरि को। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashta prayesha badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established for the never. So, Hare Krishna, please welcome all of you. Thank you for joining and keeping the appointment with Krishna. So, I have been given from 3rd canto, 12th chapter, sorry, to 3rd canto, 28th chapter, verse number 17 and 18. Okay. So, let's recite the verse. Api च दर्शनं शश्वत् सर्वलोकनमस्कृतं संतं वयसि कैशोरे भृत्यानुग्रह कातरम्. अपि च दर्शनं शश्वत् सर्वलोकनमस्कृतं संतं वयसि कैशोरे भृत्यानुग्रह कातरम्. Anybody wants to recite? Please. One Prabhuji and Mataji can recite.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Api cha darshanam shashva sarvaloka namaskritam santam vayasi kaishore bhrityanugraha kataram. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Saint Pan Prabhu. Many Prabhus can recite.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Yeah.
Abhichya darshanam shashvat sarvaloka namaskritam santam vayasi kaishore prityanugraha gadaram.
Thank you. So, synonyms, word to word meaning. Apecha Darshanam, very beautiful to see. Shashwat, eternal. Sarva Loka, by all the inhabitants of every planet. Nama Kritam, worshipable. Santam, situated. Vayasi, in youth. Kaishore, in boyhood. Bhritya, upon his devotee. Anugraha, to bestow blessings. Kataram, eager. Translation and purport by Divine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Please hear the translation purport. The Lord is eternally very beautiful, and he is worshipable by all the inhabitants of every planet. He is ever youthful and always eager to bestow his blessings upon his devotees. Purport. The word Sarvaloka Namaskrita means that he is worshipable by everyone on every planet. There are innumerable planets in the middle world and innumerable planets in the spiritual world as well. On each planet, there are innumerable inhabitants who worship the Lord. For the Lord is worshipable by all but the impersonalists. The Supreme Lord is very beautiful. The word Shashwat is significant. It is not that he appears beautiful to the devotees, but is ultimately impersonal. Shashwat means ever existing. That beauty is not temporary, it is ever existing. He is always youthful. In the Brahma Samhita 5.33, it is also stated, Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Cha. He is one without a second. Yet, although he is the original person, he never appears old. He always appears as an ever-fresh, blooming youth. The Lord's facial expression always indicates that he is ready to show favor and benediction to the devotees. For the non-devotees, however, he is silent. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, although he acts equally to everyone, because he is Supreme Personality Godhead, and because all living beings are his sons, he is especially inclined to those engaged in devotional service. The same fact is confirmed here. He is always anxious to show favor to the devotees. Just as the devotees are always eager to render service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord is also eager, very eager, to bestow benediction upon the pure devotees. Jai. Prabhupada's transcendental purport ki jai. Go to the 18th verse. Kirtanya tirtha yashasam punya shloka yashaskaram dhyaye devam samakrangam yavannachyavate manaha. Kirtanya tirtha yashasam punya shloka yashaskaram dhyaye devam samagrangam yavannachyavate manaha. Anybody would like to recite?
Can
May
I,
I?
Prabhuji?
Yes, ma'am.
Carry on, Prabhu.
Carry on, Mataji, no problem. Please carry on.
कीर्तन्यतीर्थयशसं पुण्यश्लोकयशस्करं ध्याये देवं समग्रांगं यावन्नच्यावते मनः. Hare Krishna.
So, Emperor Mata, you wanted to recite? Please go.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. Kirtan yatirtha yashasam punya shloka yashaskaram dhyaye devam samagrangam yavannachyavate manaha. Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
So, word meaning, synonyms. Kirtanya, worth singing. Tirtha Yashasam, the glories of the Lord. Punya Shloka, of the devotees. Yasha Karam, enhancing the glory. Dhyayet, one should meditate. Devam, upon the Lord. Samagrangam, all the limbs. Yavat, as much as. Na, not. Chavate, deviates. Manaha, the mind. Translation and purpose, Divan Gishya Prabha Ki Jai. Please hear the translation and purport. The glory of the Lord is always worth singing, for his glories enhance the glories of his devotees. One should therefore meditate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead and upon his devotees. One should meditate on the eternal form of the Lord until the mind becomes fixed. Purport. One has to fix his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. When one is accustomed to thinking of one of the innumerable forms of the Lord, Krishna, Vishnu, Rama, Narayana, etc., he has reached the perfection of yoga. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. A person who has developed pure love for the Lord and whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of transcendental loving exchange always sees within his heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The devotees especially see the Lord in the beautiful blackish form of Shyamasundara. That is the perfection of yoga. This yoga system should be continued until the mind does not vacillate for a moment. Om Tatta Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suraya. The form of Vishnu is the highest individuality and is always visible to sages and saintly persons. The same purpose is served when a devotee worships the form of the Lord in the temple. There is no difference between devotional service in the temple and meditation of the form of the Lord, since the form of the Lord is the same whether he appears within the mind or in some concrete element. There are 8 kinds of forms recommended for the devotees to see. The forms may be out of sand, clay, wood, or stone. They may be contemplated within the mind or made of jewels, metal, or painted colors, but all the forms are of the same value. It's not that one who meditates on the form within the mind sees differently from one who worships the form in the temple. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is of the absolute, and there is therefore no difference between the two. The impersonalists who desire to disregard the eternal form of the Lord imagine some round figure. They especially prefer the Omkara, which also has the form. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that Omkara is the letter form of the Lord. Similarly, there are statue forms and painting forms of the Lord. Another significant word in this verse is Punya Shloka Yashaskaram. The devotee is called Punya Shloka. As one becomes purified by chanting the holy name of the Lord, so one can become purified simply by chanting the name of a holy devotee. The pure devotee of the Lord and the Lord himself are non-different. It is sometimes feasible to chant the name of a holy devotee. This is a very sanctified process. Lord Chaitanya was once chanting the holy names of the gopis when his students criticized him. Why are you chanting the names of the gopis? Why not Krishna? Lord Chaitanya was irritated by the criticism. And so there was some misunderstanding between him and his students. He wanted to chastise them for desiring to instruct him on the transcendental process of chanting. The beauty of the Lord is that the devotees who are connected with these activities are also glorified. Arjuna, Prahlada, Janaka Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, and many other devotees were not even in the renounced order of life, but were householders. Some of them, such as Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, were born of demonic families. Prahlad Maharaj's father was a demon, and Bali Maharaj was the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. But still, they have become famous because of their association with the Lord. Anyone who is eternally associated with the Lord is glorified with the Lord, is glorified with the Lord. So the conclusion is that a perfect yogi should always be accustomed to see the form of the Lord. And unless the mind is fixed in that way, he should continue practicing yoga. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So beautiful lessons too. Om Gyanjamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Savitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Sapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganarita Shri Vishaka Thamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namokate Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vaneshwari Vrishabhan Sute Devi Runamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Bescha Kripasindu Bayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yanta Purushamama Chimam Pisukha Sanjeevayate Plashakti Sudamna Anyam Chahasta Charana Shampari Prananamo Bhavate Complete Vachara Pangam Trikatma Manda Pranam Namo Vishnu 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 Shrimati Mahavishnu Swamitane Namo Vishnu 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 Tilan Samane Ilusheshwara Pachanas. So Hare Krishna Prabhu's Mataji, thank you very much for joining. Keeping the appointment with Krishna, very, very important, right? We keep appointment with so many the doctors and so many, but this appointment is the most important. Right? So this chapter is entitled Kapila's Instructions on the Execution of Devotional Service. See, if you see the first, I just read out some points from the first verse itself. See, the translation he says, now is Kapil Dev. He's actually Supreme Personality Godhead. So he's telling to his mother Devoti. He was asking questions from the previous chapter, about how to devotional service and all. So he says, my dear mother, oh daughter of the king. So she was the daughter of Manu. So now I shall explain to you the system of yoga. The object of which is to concentrate the mind. By practicing this system, one can become joyful and progressively advance towards the path of the absolute truth. So just the first part is very important. See, the yoga process explained by Lord Kapil Deva in this chapter is authorized and standard. Therefore, these instructions should be followed very carefully. So this is standard, authorized, right? This yoga. That is, we may find so many yogic practices, right? And to begin, the Lord says that by yoga practice, one can make progress towards understanding the absolute truth, who is the Supreme Personality of God. And in the previous chapter, it has been clearly stated that the desired result of yoga is not to achieve some wonderful mystic power. One should not be at all attracted by such mystic power, but should attain progressive realization on the path of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. He states in the last verse of 6th chapter in Bhagavad Gita that the greatest yogi is he who constantly thinks of Krishna within himself, or he who is Krishna conscious. So, right, no, it is stated here that by following the system of yoga, one can become joyful. So, Kapil Deva, Lord Kapila, personally God, who is the highest authority in yoga, here he is explaining the yoga system known as Ashtanga Yoga, which comprises 8 different practices, namely Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So by all these stages of practice, one must realize Lord Vishnu. That is more important. Who is the target of all yoga? See, there are so-called yoga practices in which one concentrates the mind on voidness or on the impersonal. But this is not approved by the authorized yoga system, as explained by Kapil Deva. Prabhupada very clearly clarifies the whole thing, right? People are just sitting and meditating on what? Nothing. So should be on Lord Vishnu. So even Patanjali explains that the target of all yoga is Vishnu. So Ashtanga Yoga is therefore part of Vaishnava practice, because its ultimate goal is realization of Vishnu. That's very nicely. Ashtanga is only part of the Vaishnava practice because its ultimate goal is realization of Vishnu. So the achievement of success in yoga is not an acquisition of mystic power, which is condemned in the previous chapter, but rather freedom from all material designations and situation in one's constitutional position. So that is ultimate achievement in yoga practice. This. Then he, of course, later on he says, what is the prescribed duty? And then how one should perform this yoga, right? Not reading out anything, just one should practice non-violence, truthfulness, so abstain from sex, perform austerity, be clean, right? Study Vedas. And he also, one must observe silence, right? Then breathing, control of the breathing, vital air. He speaks about that. Then how to do fixing the vital air in the mind, 6 circles, so many things he talks about this, chakras and all. And he says, by these processes, one must control the contaminated mind, because which is always attracted to material enjoyment, and thus fix himself in thought of the Supreme Personality of God. That is very, very important. And says, after controlling one's mind and sitting postures, then you should have a separate, secluded place, sanctified place, sit in easy posture, right? Body should be erect. I think practice breath control. I think the same thing we would have seen in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, right? How yoga should be practiced. Then he should clear the passage here. He's talking about pranayama and all. So, because yogi practice, breathing exercise very well. So, by this, mental disturbances will be removed. Just he speaks about in this verse. Just as gold, when it put into fire and fanned with air, it becomes free from all impurities. Just by this breathing, that also gets purified. So, in this 11th verse, he says, no, by practicing the process of pranayama, one can eradicate the contamination of physiological condition, and by concentrating the mind on one, can become free from all sinful activities. By restoring the senses, one can free himself from the material association. And by meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become free from the 3 modes of material attachment. In the 12th, he says, when the mind is perfectly purified by this practice of yoga, one should concentrate on the tip of the nose with half closed eyes and see the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And from now, how we should concentrate on the Supreme, now from the 13th verse, he says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has a cheerful, lotus-like countenance with ruddy eyes like the material of a lotus, and a swarthy body like the petals of a blue lotus. He bears a conch, discus, and mace in 3 of his hands. So now you can start to visualizing, these the forms, how to meditate on. His loins are covered by a shining cloth, yellowish like the filaments of a lotus. On his breast, he bears the mark of Shiva's Srivatsa, curl of white hair. The brilliant Kaustuba gem is suspended from his neck. In 15th, he says, he also wears around his neck a garland of attractive sylvan flowers, and a swarm of bees, intoxicated by its delicious fragrance, hums about the garland. He is further superbly adorned with a pearl necklace, a crown, pair of armlets, bracelets, anklets. See, so now you can visualize, right? When you have the darshan, all these beautiful. So this is the meditation. And he says, his loins and hips encircled by girdle, he stands on the lotus of the devotee's heart. He is most charming to look at, and his serene aspect gladdens the eyes and souls of the devotees who behold him. This purport is very nice. The word Darshani Yatamam is used in this verse, means the Lord is so beautiful that the devotee yogi, this is a very nice purport, not just yogi, devotee yogi, does not wish to see anything else. His desire to see beautiful objects is completely satisfied by the sight of the Lord. In the material world, we want to see beauty, but the desire is never satisfied. Because of material contamination, all the propensilities we feel in the material world are ever unsatisfied. But when our desires to see, hear, touch, etc. are dovetailed for the satisfaction of the Supreme Person of Godhead, they are on the level of the topmost perfection. Although Supreme Person of Godhead in its eternal form is so beautiful and pleasing to the heart of the devotee, it does not attract the impersonalists who want to meditate on his impersonal aspect. Such impersonal meditation is simply fruitless labor. Prabhupada says, Shrama eva kevalam. So the actual yogis, with half-closed eyes, fixed on the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not upon anything void or impersonal. So coming to verse proper now, 17th verse. So we'll be discussing these two verses today. See, especially we saw the 15th verse, right? Just now. Prabhupada, who said in the purport that the demons are punished by the Gada. That Gada, no? Krishna is Chankashali Gada Padma. Whereas Supreme Lord keeps on his neck those living entities who are pure, as one protects the jewels and pearls on the bosom and neck of one's body. So Prabhupada writes in the purport of 3:28:15 that Krishna's garland is ever fresh because everything in the spiritual world is in its original constitutional position. In fact, he says in the spiritual world, the flower garland of Krishna is always fresh. It never fades because the flowers are spiritual and not material. Whereas in the year, we offer flowers. No, next day you have to put again, right? So therefore, flowers attract the bees even after the garland is made. The garland of Krishna is very valuable because it is spiritual. Anything touched by the Lord is transcendental. And so is the garland. You know, the fragrance coming from the garland offered to the Lord purifies our polluted consciousness. That's what when we do the arati and all, correct? The flower is offered, then it is given to everyone to take the fragrance of the garland offered to the Lord, right? Because it purifies our polluted consciousness. And not just to our sense category. Oh, very nice fragrance, right? Of course it is. So the garland of Krishna always reminds us of a story. It reminds us of a very beautiful story. That is of story of Anda or Godai. See, a devout, very Brahmin, named Vishnu Chitta. He lived in Viliputtur. So his daily service included procuring flowers for the worship of the Lord at the local temple. Now, one morning, he discovered a baby girl lying under a tulsi plant in his flower garden. And he does not have any family. So having no family of his own, so Vishnu Chitta felt it was by God's grace that he got this child. And so he named her Godai. Godai means a gift of Mother Earth. So filled with very joyful, he was very happy. Filled with joy, he took her home and raised her as his own. Now Godai grew up in an atmosphere of love and devotion. Vishnu Chitta, he was very careful, so he was so doting her. Every day singing songs to her about the beloved Krishna, teaching her all the stories and philosophy he knew, and sharing with her his love of the Tamil poetry. So the love Vishnu Chitta had for his beloved Lord intensified further in his daughter. And before long, she was very much passionately in love with the Lord Krishna. See, even as a child, Godai made up her mind to marry none but the Lord of Vrindavana and refused to think of any human being in similar terms. Okay. So she imagined what it would be like to be his bride, playing the role of his beloved, enjoying his presence. So unknown to her father, she adorned herself daily with the flower garland which her father prepared for the Lord at the temple. She used to put herself. And after admiring her reflection and thinking of herself as his ideal bride, she would hand over the garland back to her father to take to the temple and offer to the Lord. One day, Vishnu Chitta noticed a strand of Godai's hair on one of the garlands. He was shocked. So he was very saddened by this act of her. because this was only meant for the Lord, right? So he scolded Godai for her misuse of the garland. And he discarded that garland. He did not offer to Lord. So he carefully prepared a new one and offered it to the Lord. And he begged pardon from the Lord for this offense. That night, Lord appeared to Vishnu Chitta in his dream and asked why he discarded Godai's garland instead of offering to him. He requested Vishnu Chitta to give the garlands once worn by Godai. So he was overcome with emotion, right? Vishnu Chitta. He awoke and cried tears of both joy and, right? So it dawned on him now that his daughter was someone whose love of God was so intense and pure that even he had not comprehended this thing. So from this day on, she became to be known as Andal, the girl who ruled over the Lord by her loving devotion. So she is one of the 12 alvars who are pure devotees of the Lord. So usually the Lord is offered fresh, unused flowers garlands, right? But in case of Godai, the Lord accepted the garlands which she wore first, as he could understand the loving devotion in her heart. So let us all meditate on the garland of Lord Krishna, which is all spiritual and is made up of various flowers. This I see how all these verses talk about it. Yoga means meditation, thinking of nothing else. So these are all the ways how we can meditate on the Lord. So in the 17th verse, no, Apicha darshanam shashvat sarvaloka namaskritam santam vayasi kaishore prityaanugraha kataram. See this word prityaanugraha kataram. Anugraha. Anugraha means favor. Just like the father, no, he wants to favor the son always, correct? You want see, all the father would like his son to become better than him, right? So this father's wish. Every father, even in the material world, the father, a very big businessman, he wants his son also to become bigger than him. So if Krishna, who is the original father, he said, Aham bija pradapita, 14.4 Bhagavad Gita says, Sarva yonishu kaunteya, sambhavanti mutayah, tasam mahad yoni brahma, aham bija pradapita. He says, I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. It doesn't matter in different forms. He does not say that I am father of only white or black. He never says he has no such distinction, right? All equal. That is Krishna. Therefore, this word Vrityanugraha Kataram means Krishna is very eager to bestow favors to all the devotees, to everybody. That is his desire. He is always waiting when this person, when this Matai or when they will leave their material anchorings. This is God's desire. But we are so obstinate, right? We want to take some favor from this minister, that minister, that person. It will be complete, total failure. Krishna says, Surya Sarva Bhutana. I am friend of everyone. So in this verse, he says, Brityanuga Kartaram. That is, he is very eager to give all his favors. And still people are not becoming Krishna conscious. Krishna is claiming, no, I am the seed-giving father of everyone. So he does not make any discrimination. So therefore, so you can see how the people, Americans, Africans, Germans, they're all attracted, right? Without any motive, they get attracted, right? That is the beauty of Krishna. So what is, there is a potency of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because when, it's a practical example, right? When they chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That time, do they remember that I am American, I am African, I am German, Russian? No. That is known as Brahma Bhuta stage. For 18.54 Bhagavad Gita says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samash sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate paraham. This is Brahma Bhuta stage, practical. Not that I am Brahman, I am God, no. But we have to give up this, Prabhupada says in one of the class, you have to give up your designations. And that requires practice, correct? See, simply by chanting, you will be purified. Cheto Darpana Mahachan. Chanting Hare Krishna. Because we have got our heart, no, that is full with the dirty things. What are the dirty things? That I am this, I am that, I have, this is mine, I have done this. So you have to cleanse these dirty things. So we have to simply think what we should do. How can we do? We have to simply think, I am the eternal servant of Krishna. Dasanudas. Jiva Surupahaya Nitya Krishna Das. So when you think like that I am servant, eternal servant of Krishna, then all these dirty things will automatically vanish. So we are eternal servant of, that is Krishna consciousness. So Krishna, he wanted, he said, surrender unto me. Sarvadharvam parityaja mamekam sharanam vacha. That was Krishna's last word in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna wants this. He's telling, oh, everybody is suffering the mental condition of life. But still they do not come to their senses. Still they want to remain servant of Maya. So he's telling directly, I will give up all this, surrender unto me. But we are not doing. Nobody does, right? Why shall I surrender to you? I got so many things. I got my nation. I got my family. This, that. No, why I should surrender and give up everything? So nobody's, even Krishna cannot convince, right? Whole world is servant of somebody. But he declines to become servant of Krishna. So this is the disease. And this is material disease. See, he will remain servant of thousands and millions of establishments and persons. But he will disagree with Krishna. As soon as Krishna says that you give up, you become my servant. No, why can I? Why should I? This is materialism. Therefore, Krishna came as Krishna's servant. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tushe Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pralayate. Rupa Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami understood this. So when he saw first Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he offered his respect in this way. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most beneficent, charitably disposed incarnation. Why? Krishna Prema Pradayate. Because people cannot understand Krishna. But you are so merciful. You are giving direct love of Krishna. So when there is a question of love, right? Unless I understand you fully, what kind of man are you? What is your position? Then there is no, without that, there is no question of love. You should know that person, right? So people do not understand what is Krishna. So how will they love Krishna? It's not possible. That's why 7.3 Bhagavad Gita says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kasti jatati siddhaye. Out of many, many millions of persons, somebody may try to become perfect. They do not know how to become perfect. They remain cats and dogs, simply engaged in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's all. Cats and dogs. You're not human beings. So what is the difference between cats and dogs and human beings? Human beings are also interested in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So long as this body is there, we are interested in this, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But that is not our main business. Our main business is how to understand God and love Him. That is our main business. Savai pumsam paro dharmo, yato bhakti radokshati, ahai tuki apratihata, yena atma suprasidhiti, samprasidhiti. 126 Bhagavatam. So this is the business. We are Hindu, Muslim, Christian, they are all third class. Cheating religion, right? So what is real religion? Religion teaches how to love God. That is religion. Yato bhakti adokshaya. This is the first class religion. So it doesn't matter whether one is a Hindu, Muslim, or religion, that religion. If it teaches how to become a lover of God, then it is first class. And what for this love? Without any cost, without any motive. People love somebody else to get some return, right? But this is ahai tuki, without any expectation of return. Annabhyashita shunyam. Correct? This is very, very important to understand. So this is the 17th verse. In the 18th verse, Kirtanya Tirtha Yashasam Punya Shloka Yashaskaram Dhyaye Devam Samagramgam Yavan na Chavate Manaha. This is meditation. Yavan, that is, so long the mind is disturbed, no? As long as the mind is disturbed and it deviates from the subject of meditation, one should practice this kirtana. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises that the devotee should chant always 24 hours. Kirtaniya, it is worth singing. Why? Punya Shlokasya means Punya Shloka Yasaskaram, he says, no? See, even if you do not fix up your mind, Kirtana means fixing up your mind. But even if you do not fix up your mind, then you are still there is no loss. The more you glorify the Lord, please understand, the more you glorify the Lord, you become pious simply by Kirtana. And it is not necessary that you understand. But if you go on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. This japa or Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just by chanting this, you become pious. Punya Shloka. Krishna's another name is Punya Shloka, Uttama Shloka. Simply by chanting Krishna, you become pious. So he says, Dhyaye Devam Samagrangam. The dhyana meditation should begin from the lotus feet. See, the process of how to meditate is also given. Should begin from the lotus feet. As soon as you begin, when you go for darshan, right? As soon as you begin kirtana, first of all, concentrate your mind on the lotus feet. Not all of us are on the face, no. Be practiced to think of the lotus feet. Then still higher. Then the knees, the thighs, belly, chest. In this way, at last, go to the face. So this is the process. It is described in the second canto. See, the process is how to think of Krishna. Man mana bhava mad bhakto. This is meditation. By Kirtana, it becomes very easy. If we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 24 hours a day, like Haridas Thakur, that's Prabhupada says, but that is not possible, right? But as much as possible. That is also Kirtana. See, we are all talking about Krishna. We are reading about Krishna. Reading Krishna's instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. Or reading Krishna's glories in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are all Kirtana. It's not that simply when we sing with musical instruments, that is Kirtana. No. Anything you talk about Krishna, that is Kirtana. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. So this is the character. You can see the character of Maharaj Amrisha in Bhagavatam. Whenever Maharaj talks, he would talk about Krishna. That is Kirtana. He won't talk anything else. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayoho. See, whenever he will think of Krishna, his lotus feet, his body, his hands, his flute. This is meditation. You know, trance, we heard this word trance. Trance means when your mind is so fixed upon Krishna or Vishnu that not even for a second your mind is deviated from the Krishna's form. This is called trance. Not artificial. You can practice it. If you see Krishna daily in the temple, if you worship, you offer your obeisances, right? Manmana bhaktu madhyaji mam namaskaru. Naturally, you will think of Krishna 24 hours. And that will make you more pious. Because without being pious, nobody can think of Krishna. Yesham antakatam papam. Pious means there is no reaction of sinful life. It is all squared up, right? See, that you can do any moment. Krishna takes charge. Krishna says, Aham tvam sarvapapebhyo moksha shami masucha. He can do that. He can nullify the destiny, karma. He can, when you just surrender to him. That's why in Kirtan, when you clap, right? He can, the lines which is there, your destiny and everything is there, that will change. That Krishna can do. That's why when you sing Kirtan, you should clap. Karmani nirdhati kintucha bhakti bhajam. So everyone is bound up by the laws of karma. See, everyone beginning from that small microbe up to the king of heaven, Indra. All different types of living, they are suffering. Not enjoying this material world up to the Brahma over there. So suffering the resultant action of this past sinful life. This is material existence. See, everyone is suffering, but Maya is so kind. In what way? Because she misleads the sufferer to understand the suffering is enjoying. This is Maya. Actually, everyone is suffering, but is misled to think that he is enjoying. So, if we keep ourselves always in contact with Krishna, then we become pious more and more. And as soon as our sinful reaction of life is counteracted by these pious activities, we begin to understand Krishna. See, without being sinless, nobody can understand Krishna. So this process should be continued. So this verse, 18th verse, no, Kirtane Tirtha Yashasam, Punya Shloka Yashaskaram, Dhyaya Devam. Now, Devam. Devam means Supreme Lord. Samagrangam. So if he has no form, how can you think of his whole body? So Samagra means the whole. Angam means body. So Samagrangam. So if he has no body, if he is formless, if he is Nirakara, then where is the question of Angam? He has Angam. Samagrangam. But he does not have a form like us. That is the meaning. When in the Shastra it is said that God has no form, it means he has no material form. He has the form. Otherwise, how can I think of his form? Correct? So this Krishna's form is not like us. Just like if you take any statue of any leader, if you pray, if you offer food, that does not actually go to that person. You can see in London or anywhere, very big statues of leaders. Go and offer, pay places, offer food. But Krishna's Sangha, his form is non-different from Krishna. But foolish people say that, no, these men, they are offering food to a marble statue. People say, the temple, they say, marble statue, everyone knows. It's not a fact. The fact is Krishna is omnipotent. He can accept your service, becoming a marble statue. Because I cannot see Krishna by my present eyes, therefore he has appeared before us just like a marble statue. But it's not marble statue. You must know that. If we think here is marble statue and if I commit some offense, who is going to see? Who is going to see? That's what we feel. No? This is the wrong conclusion. You think, no, if I come on, doesn't matter. It's only a statue. He is Krishna personally present here in the form which we can see. It is Krishna's mercy. He is called Archa Vigraha. Krishna is everything. So this marble is also Krishna's energy. Bhumi Rapo Analo Vayuhu, 7.4 Bhagavad Gita says. So we can accept your service from any of his energies. So the marble is also his energy. Water is also his energy. Air is also his energy. Everything. Without Krishna, nothing can exist. So he's omniscient, all powerful. He can accept your service through his energy. So this is Archa Vigraha, Samagrangam. So Krishna has got form, Angam, but his Anga is different. Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadirav Sarvakaram, we say in Brahma Samhita. His Anga is Satchidananda, not like us. So see, Krishna Lila is the face of Krishna, smiling of Krishna. So here we have to practice to see the different parts of the body gradually from down, lotus feet. First of all, we see his lotus feet, then gradually. So let's describe. The 2 feet, they are the first and second canto of Bhagavatam. So just reading first and second canto of Bhagavatam, that means you are starting from the lotus feet of the Lord. So this way we must go. Everything is very scientifically arranged. If you take it chronologically, according to the instruction of the Shastra, then it will be very easy. And everything can happen only through devotional service. What is devotional service? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smaranam Pada Sevanam. 7.5.23 Bhagavatam. We have to follow these 9 principles of devotional service. Especially this Shravanam, Kirtanam and Archanam. Archanam worshipping the deity. And Shravanam, Kirtanam. See, even if you follow one, that is sufficient. But there are 9 different processes. See, as far as possible, at least Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam. Archana is very important. See, in the neophyte stage, Archana is very important. See, in the devotee, in the higher stage also offers worship, but Krishna is everywhere. But for a neophyte, see, why should you go to temple? Krishna is everywhere. Yeah, it's the fact, but where is your realization? Krishna Prabhupada in one of the lectures, he says, Krishna is everywhere, that's a fact, but where is your realization? Krishna is within your heart. Have you got that realization? Ishvara Sarva Bhutana Vriddesha Arjuna Tishtati. Have you got that realization that Krishna is within your heart? Can you talk with Krishna? Krishna says, I talk, Buddhi Yogam Dadamitam. Krishna gives intelligence. Krishna is giving, but have you got that realization? So these are all facts. That Krishna is everywhere. Krishna is within your heart. Krishna is within the atom. That's a fact. But where is your realization? Therefore, you have to begin realization by Archana. That is very essential. The more you become expert in Archana, then more you become realized, then advanced. So this is very, very to raise ourselves. This is Archana. So gradually you advance. But simply advance is not. You should. Your behavior also. See, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, doing it shape, all become mature, ritual, mechanical. That's not good. You should put it into practice. That means your behavior must change. You should become humble, no anger, and no envy. All these things has to be imbibed. That is the most important thing to understand. Especially seva, service. When the festivals are come, we do a lot of services. So every devotee is subordinate. Nobody is equal to Krishna. If you do that, we are equal to Krishna, then it is mistake. It's an offense. Therefore, Vaishnava says Dasa. Dasan Das. That's why when initiated devotees, their name is like Sri Ramchandra Das, right? Like that, Das. Das is more, that Das word is more important rather than so he never says master. So nobody can be superior to Krishna or equal to Krishna. That is a mistake. But these Maya, the philosophers, so they think, now I have become equal to Krishna. I am also Krishna. Prabhupada always says, this is rascaldom. God is never equal to anyone. That's a beautiful word. Asam Urdhva. Asama means not equal. And Urdhva always the top. Asam Urdhva, that is described in Bhagavad Gita. So this Kirtanam was talked about, right? This Shravanam Kirtanam has been described by Shukadeva Goswami in 2nd canto, 4th chapter, very nicely. 7, 2, 4, 15. Beautiful verse. Yat Kirtanam Yat Smaranam Yadikshanam Yad Vandanam Yat Shravanam Yadarhanam Lokasya Sadyo Vidnoti Kalmasham Tasmai Subhadra Shravase Namo Namah. The translation is, Shukadeva Goswami is saying, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all auspicious Lord Shri Krishna, about whom glorification, remembrances, audience, prayers, hearing, and worship can at once cleanse the effects of all sins of the performer. Purport says, the sublime form of religious performances are to free oneself from all reactions of sins is suggested in this verse. By whom? By Shri Shukadeva Goswami. Kirtanam, or glorifying the Lord, can be performed in very many ways, such as remembering, visiting temples to see the deity, offering prayers in front of the Lord, or hearing recitations of glorification of the Lord mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam Bhagavad Gita. See, Kirtanam can be performed both by singing the glories of the Lord in accompanying with the melodic music and by recitation of scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And we saw Krishna is decorated so beautifully, right? With Shankha, Shakha, Gada, Padma, and jewels, Kautuvaj, all these things we have seen, right? So, but these decorations are beyond restriction of space and size. You know, in the material world, we can see that a person wears ornaments and jewels in certain occasions and only in certain places. Okay. So there is a space restriction for wearing ornaments. Generally, people do not decorate themselves while going to funeral places. Correct. Also, due to safety reasons, people cannot wear jewels while traveling to unsafe places. Also, the ornaments we wear during our childhood does not fit when we grow old. The ornaments of elderly people does not fit for the children. Okay. But all these restrictions does not apply to the Supreme Lord, whose form is all-pervading and present in each and every atom of the creation. So the Vedic mantra state, the Lord is Anoranya Mahato Mahyan, smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest. In his smallest and greatest form, the Lord is fully decorated with ornaments. See, the Lord is present in each and every atom in the minute form. Also, he showed the giant universal form to Arjuna, which was unlimited. One is small. So, in both these forms, God is fully decorated with dresses and ornaments. Big, huge also, and the smallest also. And it was demonstrated in many places. And one such pastime is found in Srimad Bhagavatam. You know, after Mahabharata war, Ashwatthama, he shot the Brahmastra weapon to the womb of Uttara, right? He was carrying Parikshit Maharaj in her womb. At that time, Uttara and others prayed to the Lord to protect the child in the womb. So, Lord is present in the heart of everyone, right? He counteracted the power of Brahmastra. Now, Parikshit Maharaj could see the Lord's form in the womb. And it is described very nicely, 1, 12, 8, and 9. He was only a thumb high size, but he was all transcendental. Please visualize this. He was only thumb high size, he was all transcendental. He had a beautiful, very beautiful, blackish, infallible body. He was so small inside the womb. And he wore a dress of lightning yellow. And he had a helmet of blazing gold. He was seen by the child. So the Lord was enriched with 4 hands, earrings of molten gold, and eyes blood red with fury. See, from this pastime, we can see Lord appeared in a form which is of the size of the thumb. but fully decorated with helmet, earrings, dress. Just cannot imagine. Any other size, the Lord manifests. In all these forms, He is fully decorated with ornaments, befitting His form and size. Even when the Lord is present in an atom as a super soul, He is fully dressed and decorated with jewels. See, now in science, we talk of nanotechnology, where articles are made in size of atoms and molecules. Also, people make homes and articles for small things, in micro and nano sizes. But the Lord's technology is spiritual, much beyond the scope of nanotechnology. At the same time, we see that when Lord Brahma was born from the lotus flower, which sprouted from the Lord's navel, Brahmaji saw the Lord after a great penance. The Lord's body was spanning across all the 3 planetary systems. And it was in the order of billions of miles. It was fully decorated with earrings, crown, necklace, armlets, rings, befitting that form. And we also see in Srimad Bhagavatam that the Vedas pray to Lord Vishnu, who sleeps in the causal ocean after all the universes are annihilated. The Vedas explain how vast is that form of the Lord as well. The countless universes, each enveloped in its shell, are compelled by the wheel of time to wander within you, like particles of dust blowing about in the sky. So the Lord's form as Mahavishnu is so vast and immeasurable that many universes move within the pores of His body, like specks of dust. And in that gigantic form also, the Lord is decorated with earrings, crown, necklace, armlets, which perfectly suit His huge form. So His ornaments, which are spiritual in nature, are beyond restriction of space and size. And therefore, they are uncommonly wonderful. So we stop here. So this is how we can meditate. So you just cannot imagine, right? Visualize. Even as a super soul, we can imagine He's having this helmet, He's having this jewels, everything is there. So if that's how you can meditate on the Supreme Lord. So this is the best form of yoga, meditating on this form of the Lord and doing darshana. So these are all wonderful lessons we could learn today from this class. So if anything, any questions or anything to share, which you felt very attracted you, that this is a very nice point, I can put it into practice and I can elevate myself in the devotional service. Granthra Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpuruscha, Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha, Patitanam Pavani Bhavaishnavam. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
The most striking point was Godai Prabhu. I think the story of Godai and the garland which Godai was wearing and then offering it to the Lord never felt offended, saying that somebody is offering me a used garland, or the kind of devotion that Godai had towards the Supreme Personality of. I think that was the most striking point that I personally felt in today's conversation.
Yes,
thank you very much, Prabhu.
Nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? If you have anything, share any questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna is there everywhere and in our heart also. We have to have that realization. That is what important.
Yes, very nice. Correct. That's what Prabhu was telling. People say, he is everywhere, why to go to the temple? But we don't have a realization still. That's the point. Very nice point, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes. Okay. If nothing more, we can stop here.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. And then, do you think our Srila Prabhupada Guruji, he could see, did Lord Krishna appear in his dream, Prabhuji? Has he seen the form of Lord Krishna?
Definitely, Mataji.
Because beautiful descriptions and all that has been mentioned in his translated epic work and all that. Correct. Definitely, he must have had a very, very transcendental vision. Am I right or wrong? I don't know, Prabhuji.
Yes. See, actually, Prabhupada says whatever translations and purpose have been written, it's all my transcendental ecstasy. He cannot write like this. It's all Krishna has described. That's what he says. So that means definitely he would have. So he's nothing his own. That's what. So definitely, without that, how can you have such wonderful purports and translations? Which the moment you read, you get touched by that, right? Automatically, you get. That's the beauty of Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhu, if I may add, in one of the Rath Yatras, Srila Prabhupada was actually just standing and watching. And then the devotees asked, what happened, Srila Prabhupada? And Prabhupada said, yeah, didn't you see Gaur-Nitai dancing in the public? So this is a very straightforward and a very clear indication that Srila Prabhupada did have the vision, did have the capability, and he did see the Lord face to face.
Correct, bro. Very good. Yeah, in one of the other some other lectures, he said there was very few people, nobody was there, very few. So the organizer was, he said, Prabhupada, sorry, nobody. Why? Sorry, don't worry. See, you can see Narada Muni, Brahma, everybody sitting there.
Yeah.
They are there, right? And Krishna himself says, wherever my glories are, there I am. I'm not in Vaikuntha. Naham Tishtami. Correct? So, yes, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing that, Prabhu. Very good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. And I also agree with our Uttam Prabhuji when he told about that Godai story, about that garland. I never heard.
Yes.
That was a very, very beautiful narration for all of us, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Of course, we should not follow that. We will also wear and offer to Krishna. We should be very careful. But these are the story that says the love for the Lord, how much love they had. And then Godai, she heard it from her father, right from the young age. She was hearing about only the glories of the Lord. So there she got attracted. I think it was same like Rukmini, right? She had not seen the Lord before, right? And she only heard from others. And she got attracted. And she wanted to marry him, right? So these are all just by hearing. That's why our hearing should be so rapt, just like Rukmini and Godai, with attention. Then we will get attracted to Krishna. But we have been hearing so many years. That attraction still not taken place. We are still attracted towards material things and deviated. So we should be taking for blessings of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastras more and more chanting. Then that attraction takes place. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I'm also reminded of Meera Prabhu. She also only visualized. I mean, it was only her imagination that, and she was in an imaginary world. She remained wedded to Lord Krishna. Am I right, Prabhu?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay. If nothing more is there, shall I
Hare Krishna.
stop or anything?
Very,
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes,
very powerful. Very powerful class. I don't know how 1 hour went off. And the way omnipresent, omniscient, it was explained very nicely.
Thank you, Mother. So, Guru's
Thank
mercy, Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you for the beautiful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Balaji Prabhu.
When we are talking about Andal, she is the the previous birth was Vishnu Siddha. Vishnu Siddha was doing the garlanding in the forest of the Krishna.
Okay.
So I was told in one of the lectures that he is again incarnated as Andal in the next birth.
Okay.
Namalvar and as Andal afterwards.
Achha, okay.
Okay,
Prabhu. Thank you very much for sharing that. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada. We meet. Shall I close now? Thank you, Shukumar Prabhu, Shanta Govinda Prabhu, Archana Mataji, Hare Krishna, Balaji Prabhu. Thanks.
Hare Krishna, wonderful. Jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shanta Govinda Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Jai. Take care, be safe. Hari Bol.